Intermittent fasting, you can do it right and feel better than ever, or you can do it wrong and mess up your whole body and mind. Fasting is a tool. It works great when used correctly. So here are 9 very common mistakes that I see women make when they're starting to fast or in the process of fasting that can lead to adverse effects such as thyroid issues, weight gain, hair loss, hormonal imbalance, a very bad relationship with food, binging, and so on. So let's talk about that to make sure that you do not make those mistakes and that you get all the benefits of fasting. By the way, if you're new to my channel, hi, I'm Lex Bucco. My background consists of amateur kickboxing, boxing, bodybuilding. I've been in fitness for over 20 years now, and everything I've learned, applied, and experimented with myself, and then later created a program that I call the Bucco Method that I share with my clients. I share here with you in these videos. With that said, let's jump into the first one. Mistake number 1 that I see women make is jumping into fasting without reading or educating themselves about it, without proper research. There are 2 books that I highly recommend. One is by Dr. Jason Fung called A Guide to Fasting, and the other one is by Dr. Mindy Pelz called Fast Like a Girl. We have been conditioned and programmed since day 1, since we were little, to have a different relationship with food than we're supposed to. If you were raised in a family where you had to eat everything off the plate right away, you never made a connection between you and your body to trust your body to send you hunger signals. So please do research, watch a ton of videos, ask questions before you get started. And even then, you have to be gentle, which leads me into mistake number 2 that I see women make, and that is being too strict with a regimen and therefore starving or waiting for a certain time to eat, whether or not we're starving because the clock said so. So remember when I just said about conditioning, you want to use fasting as a protocol that will connect you to your body, that will help you listen to your body's cues more rather than damage your relationship with food. You should never be starving or feeling deprived. You have guides such as 16:8 or 14:10 or OMAD or other things that are simply guides for you to use and not things that you absolutely have to do. You do not want to be a perfectionist here. You're not in competition with anybody. You're not going to get a gold star if you complete everything perfectly on one of those regimens. Rather than doing that, you want to be gentle. Listen to your body. Shrink the eating window by 15 to 30 minutes. Learn the cues of the body. When are you actually hungry? And never wait till you're starving. If you downloaded an app or you're looking at the clock, waiting for that 1 minute to hit to eat, you're not developing a healthy relationship with food. Mistake number 3 that I see women make is starting their day with carbs. I talk a lot about insulin and insulin spikes because we have to know what spikes our insulin, what messes our sugar in our blood and makes us go up and down and feel energetic and then crash. This is the whole game. We are here to lower the insulin spikes. And when you're fasting, the first meal that you have after a fast is very, very significant when it comes to insulin because at this point your body is even more sensitive to the food that it's receiving. So you've been waiting for your clock to hit, mistake number 2, and now you're ready to eat and you grab something full of carbs and or sugars. Sugars is a simple carb. Whether they're complex carbs or not, you want to avoid carbs if possible during that first meal. That first meal needs to be full of healthy fats and a little bit of protein ideally. So nothing with flour, nothing processed, no processed sugar, no starchy carbs, no starchy vegetables, no fruit ideally either. It's not that fruit is bad, it's that we're looking again to lower the spike on your insulin with that first post-fast meal. Mistake number 4 that I see women make is fasting hardcore all the way through their period. Because of our hormones changing each week, you want to always be gentle with your fast. You want to always listen to your body and know that during and after ovulation, when your progesterone takes over, progesterone needs carbs. So that last week before your period, you don't want to be fasting anything hardcore. If you naturally don't eat 12 to 14 hours and that's normal for you, then keep it that way. I'm not asking you to completely change your schedule and reverse it here. However, that last week before your period, you want to avoid any hardcore fasting because you can mess up your hormones. Before we get to mistake number 5, if you're getting value out of this video, make sure to hit that subscribe button and hit that like so we can spread more information like this with people who need to hear it. Okay, mistake number 5 is people, or especially women, with other medical issues such as thyroid, autoimmune diseases, or anything else, not talking to someone like a functional medicine practitioner or a healthcare provider that actually knows about the fasting connected to their particular medical issue. And also, this is for anybody who has a history of eating disorders. If you're someone who wants to fast hardcore and you have a thyroid issue, you can mess it up even more. So please always consult someone like a functional medicine practitioner before starting any regimen. And before we get into the 6th one, I just want to mention that if you need more information on fasting and you need more step-by-step guide, you may want to check out my membership. It's affordable, you're not signing a contract, it's month to month, and I provide information that will guide you how to do this properly. If you need even more personalized attention, I do have an option of you booking one-on-one call where we will together go through your whole day of how you're eating, create a plan, check in weekly with you, and make sure you're ready to do this on your own. I will leave all the details for that in the description, so check that out. All right, mistake number 6 that I see so commonly made is using fasting as a shortcut to weight loss and neglecting nutrient-rich foods. What does that mean? Here's the magic of fasting. Fasting will give you fantastic benefits even if you just shrink the eating window and don't necessarily change what you're eating. However, one, fasting will be harder for you if you're still eating a lot of processed foods because of the whole insulin spike once again, because we all know how we feel when the sugar goes up and how bad we feel when we have sugar crashes. Some people even start shaking and feel nauseated because their blood sugar has dropped drastically. So if you are still eating pizzas and pastas and donuts and processed foods in your eating window and using that as your shortcut, you are damaging further your relationship with food. What you want to do with fasting is you want to start shrinking your eating window, all while focusing on what foods you're eating, because fasting will come more naturally to you when you take out all the processed foods. And you cannot do that all in one day. Well, you can, but then you're treating it like another diet and you're going to go back to square one in 2 weeks or less. So you don't want to use fasting as a diet. You want to focus on fasting as a potential lifestyle change while looking into reducing processed foods and introducing more and more whole foods into your diet. Things that are natural to us. Fish, meat, eggs, veggies, fruits, seeds, nuts, healthy oils, olive oils, avocado oils. And the less processed they are, the better. So while you're changing the way you're eating and making sure you're having more nutritious and nutrient-rich foods in your diet, I highly recommend taking a multivitamin daily. And in the description, I'll leave you to the one that I use that I highly recommend. It is one of the top multivitamins that I have ever had. All right, mistake number 7 is over-exercising. While physical activity is essential for overall health, we have to know how our body reacts while fasting. There's many people who love working out on an empty stomach. I'm not one of them. I come with a history of thyroid issues. Therefore, for me, working out on an empty stomach is horrible, feels horrible, and should not be done, obviously. But you have to know you. Remember, exercise is actually stress on the body. Short-term stress that comes with a period of recovery when we get all the benefits. Fasting is the same way. Fasting is a little bit of a stress on the body. If done the right way, there comes a period of time when the body adapts and thrives. So if you are fasting and you're being hardcore with fasting and now over-exercising, you can truly damage your body. Listen to your body, adjust whenever you're changing how and what you're eating, and you will know what to do. And before we get to number 8, if you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe because we'll be talking more on fasting, do's and don'ts, answering your question in the future content. Okay, mistake number 8, super common amongst women, and that is ignoring sleep quality. Adequate sleep is absolutely crucial when it comes to hormonal regulation, especially for women. Remember the whole 6 to 8 hours of sleep? That's for men. Women need 8 to 10 hours of sleep around their period, sometimes even longer. So take the guilt off of yourself, sleep in when you need to, take naps when you can, because when you are sleep deprived, your body is trying to get the energy out of anywhere and it will make you more hungry to get that energy. It all has to do with hormonal regulation. Sorry ladies, we're hormonal creatures. So when you neglect sleep during fasting periods, you can disrupt your hormones and make fasting less effective. If you need more tips on how to improve your sleep quality, make sure to check out my video on 9 tips on how to sleep better. And I will tell you there's also a top-notch supplement that, again, I take every night and I highly recommend, and I'll leave that in the description. Remember, do your own research and do what's right for you. And mistake number 9 that I see women make is ignoring or skipping electrolytes. Fasting can lead to electrolyte imbalance, which can cause symptoms like fatigue, headaches, or muscle cramps. Women should always ensure they're getting adequate amount of electrolytes such as sodium, potassium, magnesium, especially during extended fasted periods. And besides the electrolytes, I already told you I highly recommend taking a multivitamin daily, and I can also guide you to a pre-workout that I take that makes me less sore, less fatigued, and has the electrolytes in it. I do want to hear from you. What has been your experience with fasting? Leave me a comment below. Again, share and like so we can spread this information, and check out the next video here.